Hi everyone, my name's TeaPenn and thank you so much for joining me for this amazing new unboxing. Now for those who follow me on Discord and Twitter X, you might have seen a bit of an update with me going on about getting the Quest Pro. Now the discussion's not leaking out as much as it should, but I thought I might as well do a video on it, a bit of an unboxing, about what the Quest Pro looks like, even though it's a discontinued device that Meta doesn't usually produce anymore. I thought, you know what, I might as well do an unboxing. So we are going to carry on right now. Okay, so obviously some of the details here I have to blank out, which I'll do in the further editing process. In here is in fact the Quest Pro. Now obviously this is not what the actual Quest Pro looks like, this is just the outside packaging when it was being delivered. So we're going to crack on, we're going to open this parcel and show you what's inside. Okay. Here we go. And as you look, we have our logo at the top, right here. And out of the box it comes. Oh, it's a bit of an heavy box. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Meta Quest Pro. Let's zoom right in on the camera there, look. Meta Quest Pro. This is a 256 gig headset, but obviously I'm not using it to run any games. Now, I bet you're wondering, well, why have you brought yourself a Quest Pro? What's so good about this Quest Pro that made you want to buy this? Even though they don't make it, but you've already got a Quest 3S, which you might have seen in some of the videos, which I don't even know if I had any videos of it. So the Quest Pro is, in fact, like I said, a discontinued model, but not only that, this headset has the ability to do face tracking. So what's that? Face tracking is something that's built in with the sensors here on the Quest Pro. And when you wear the Quest Pro to play like VR based games like VR chat, or if you're doing mocap, which is my main intention of buying this, you will be able to do facial animation and facial like capturing and stuff like that, and like face expressions. It also has eye tracking and all the bits and pieces, but as far as I know, that's what it's got. Now obviously Meta Quest Pro is again discontinued, so I've had to label that 3 times, but yeah, here we go. So let's open up and see what's inside. Now obviously the Quest Pro is something I did research before I even bought it. I had to make sure that I was happy that when I was going to buy the Quest Pro, I was like, is this going to be the one for me? And I thought, yeah, I'm happy. This is definitely what I want to do. Always make sure that you do your research first. Very important that you do research, because you will be able to know what the best options are. So obviously inside the box, which I'll zoom in for you. So inside the box, she'll read there. So inside the box you'll have the MetaQuest Pro headset, you'll have 2 MetaQuest Touch Pro controllers. It also comes with a charging dock, very nice, power adapter, ooh, controller charging cable, because these, if I'm correct, are rechargeable controllers, so you don't need to worry about doing all the battery rubbish. It's got a charging cable, 2 stylus tips, 2 light blockers left and right, cable clip, protective cover, cleaning cloth, and 2 wrist straps. And obviously, if you're in another language, then there you go. But looking at the image illustrations, that is what's in there. So, let's dive right into it. So, I'm going to do it this side and left. And put it out this way. Oh, don't know what this is. Additional regulatory information. Right, here we go. MetaQuest Pro. Let's have a look inside. Ooh, it's a bit smaller than I thought. Bit of condensation from shipping, but I imagine you give it about 15 or so minutes until it gets up to room temperature. So, the Quest Pro, a model that you don't really see in stores. So, first things first. Oh, these are much heavier than I thought. So, you have the controllers on there. They've got cameras, so they do camera tracking, which is all around. Obviously these are a bit cold, so it's best to operate this at room temperature. So we're going to leave this out for about half an hour just so it can do that. So we'll put them to one side. Then you also have, which you have to be very careful, I'm going to do it from the sides, you have the headset in itself. So this is the front of the headset, which, oh, there we go. So the front of the headset, now this thing is made of a glass. So I'm just going to, if you have a listen, it is made of glass. And when you wear the headset, obviously on the inside, it gives you other warnings up here as well. Up here, look. On how you put it on. Now I'm not going to wear it just yet. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit just so that it warms up. In here, which also says MetaQuest Pro right up here, which is the accessories kit. So, ooh, accessories. Oh boy, what is in here? So, oh, it's not there, is it? Oh, yeah. Let's start with this one. So we're going to pull this one out. Oh, nice slide as well. So, what's in this box? So we'll pull it out. There we go, MetaQuest Pro. Just pull this out. And inside we have our accessories. So we have our charging plug, which obviously this does USB-C, as you can see. USB-C and the plug there, and we've got plenty of things to charge it anyway, so it's not a problem really. We have 2 cables. One is our charging cable and one is for our, so we've got a controller charge cable and our charging dock cable, so we've got a little extension there which I think is very, very cool. So, oh, the other way around. There we are. And at the same time we've got like the nifty paperwork, so obviously all the details, warranty, service warranty, blah, blah, blah. Only this is obviously a device that I don't know if it even comes with warranty. It probably doesn't, because obviously Meta doesn't really make this device anymore. So it's just not considered useful in any way. Now obviously you don't need to, obviously there's 2 ways you could charge it, so you can either charge it with the charging dock or you can charge it without the charging dock. It's completely up to you. So in here, lift this up. This is our charging dock, which obviously is cold because of the condensation. But you put your controllers on here and you put your headset right into the center. And there's the instructions on how you put it on there as well, should you need them. You've got USB-C there, so you plug your USB-C charging cable, which will instruct you on where you've got to plug it in. And also you have the light blockers. Now light blockers is used for putting inside of the headset. There's the image illustration. And it's good if you want to stop light getting into the side, so stop like any light passing through and reflecting up onto your eyes. And that, I think that's pretty much about it. It did come with a cover. I don't know if this one actually came with a cover. I think you have to buy that one separately, which I don't know if I might have missed it. Which I don't really know. Have I missed it? I don't know. Anyway, I'll look after it. It'll be fine. So we're going to let that just warm up to room temperature for 30 minutes. But what I can do is that during that 30 minutes I can let it charge and just do all that. Now, just put this up here. Now, we're in the headset. Now obviously I'm going to show this with the Quest just turned off for the moment. So, the Meta Quest Pro is right here, look. Like that. It's a 3D rotation of the headset. Now, obviously, putting on the headset, you would take this bit off, and then you have little peely bits in there, so you would have to take them off as well. So no sunlight on the lenses, and these are pancake lenses by the way, and you don't want any liquid cleaners either, you don't want any of that. So we're going to put this on. So what you want to do is, before you do, is just loosen this up, and then you put on your head like so. So like that, and you can tighten it up like that. So it's a nice tight fit. Now another interesting thing upon wearing this is this actually feels a lot more lighter than, say, for example, like a Quest 2. And normally, most people are reporting saying that it has much more weight, but at the same time, I don't really know if I should agree with them. But at the end of the day, this is what it looks like. Now at the same time, I'm going to get me light blockers, and these light blockers, you put them on the inside of the headset. So you lift this up and this comes out, and then with the light blockers here, I'm going to put one on this side. Oh, and it's magnetic as well, so if you've got the magnetic strips on there, that will be very useful as well. So install the partial light blockers, there we go, and if it's snug on there, now we put the headset back on like this. Oh, you might have to obviously take this off, put it on, and now put it on. And this will partially block the light in a way, but it will I mean it will partially, but I mean you can still see stuff at the bottom. This is because obviously this is because obviously the Quest has sensors at the bottom, which I believe are over here, look. So I imagine these are sensors for doing the mouth tracking, and obviously it's got 3 cameras at the front right here, there we go, look, 3 cameras at the front, and you've also got 2 cameras over at the side as well, which I think is really, really cool. And you've got a little lever at the top. This is for adjusting the pancake lens. So if we just zoom in, when I adjust this, this will adjust something on there. Spread them out or make them in a little bit closer. Oh no, hang on. No, this. Oh, it's used for something. I can't remember what it's actually used for. But one thing you can do as well is on the inside is if you depending on your width of eyes, you can also adjust the pancake lenses to go in a little bit or to go further out. So it depends on you really. And also you've got your pins there for when you're charging the headset. And then what I really like about the look of this headset is even though it's a brand new device, it looks brand new. It's got a headphone jack, which I don't know if you can actually see that on camera. There it is, look. Got a little headphone jack there. There's your buttons. This thing also possibly has speakers as well. Yeah, so it's got the speakers at the top there, look. So you've got a speaker there. Don't know if you can actually see that right now. But you've got your speaker there. There you go. And then you've got your speaker right there. And obviously looking at the back of the headset, you rest the back of your head on like that. When I wore it, it felt quite comfortable. So obviously you'd have that on there. And then you've got your charging port USB-C right there as well. Oh, not to mention the volume buttons. I don't know if you can actually see them. But there are volume buttons here, look. So if you decide to plug in the headset, you've got your volume buttons right there. And then on the other side, which will have your power button and headphone jack, look. There we are. So your headphone jack, you got your power button, all right there at the same time. So, what do I think? Well, looking at it, if I were to say compare it to the Quest 3S, which this is, yes, a very popular selling model, comparing it to the Quest Pro, I would say weight wise, yeah, this one's definitely a lot heavier than this one, but that's because of the added weight of like the battery thing here on the back. If you were to take that away, it probably wouldn't weigh very much. But obviously these are pancake lenses. These are just normal lenses. This is pretty much like the Quest 2 but as an upgrade because it's got Snapdragon processing and it's got RGB cameras, red, green and blue. So this is quite good for doing mixed AR, augmented reality games tracking. And this has infrared as well, which is very nice. That's one thing I like about this headset. And obviously this one you can get for a lot cheaper as well. So if you're just looking for a basic headset, 3S, I definitely recommend 3S because it's very good for the money. And also you still get a lot of power out of it, a lot of the great games, stuff like that. Obviously it's not a 4K res display, not on this one. This one's a 4K res. The Meta Quest 3 is a 4K res. But this one, if you want to have longer playtime, definitely go for the Quest 3S because it has 2.5 hours. This only has 2, and the Quest 3 has only 2 as well. And this one, I believe you can pretty much buy. I mean, I brought this refurbished or used from another store for a very low price. It sells for about 300 or so pounds on like depending on where you buy it from. I think Amazon or eBay, or if you go to a used store, you can get it cheaper. This I bought brand new off Amazon for just over £800. I think I brought this for nearly 850. This is actually worth much more than that. This originally would sell for about £1,500, which is a lot for a Quest Pro. As you can see, it is definitely something that looks like it's worth £1,500. And yeah, in a way, like I said, it's a very high-tech looking headset, and you know, I cannot wait to use this. I cannot wait to build it up. This I'm probably going to give to my younger sister because if this works really well, then I might as well keep it. But yeah, honestly, without using it, I can't give a full review on it. I might do another video on it, then I might not, because sometimes I might just be like, forget about it. It's just not worth doing another review. But honestly, yeah. So there you go, 3S. That's what I was using, and Quest Pro. Looks like it's got sad eyes, look. Ooh, I'm so sad. But yeah, That's what that looks like. For those interested in the 3S, this is the 3S. Looks like an iPhone headset. It's got 3 cameras and it's got infrared sensor. That's what that guy is. It doesn't come with a headphone jack, but it does come with a good amount of cameras and stuff. Obviously it's USB-C charge. There's your power button there at the top, and obviously the inside is not pancake lenses, but that is the inside for those who are interested. This one is also very good for doing. This one's very good for taking out any low light. But in fact, obviously this one does a lot more. This one does a lot more. Doesn't obviously have facial tracking built into the headset, but it is definitely good for playing games. This one's like more of a performance headset, whether the 3, for example, is more of like a quality performance. So it's like comparing GTX to RTX. GTX is good for performance, RTX is good for ray tracing games and graphic designers. But obviously this thing, you can still do creativity and stuff like that, especially in AR. But something like this is a lot more precise. So, but it depends on you really. It depends on what you'd like. But honestly, if you're on a budget and you want to buy a VR headset, this will be a good option because it's fast enough. They don't make the Quest 2 anymore because Quest 2s, they've only got 4 cameras and they're black and white cameras. So I do not recommend the Quest 2, they're old. But Quest 3S is definitely a great choice. Quest Pro, obviously if you want to be a lot more advanced and you really want to spend your money and really get into it and be like, oh yeah, we're going to go further, then Quest Pro. Obviously they make this, but they don't make this. That's the only one difference that I can say about this. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you found this helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe and check out some of my other content that will be coming up soon. Cheerio. Bye.